Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Wednesday Wisdom, sponsored by K-12 Sports Tech on the Educational 80 podcast. We're going to be right back with today's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but as always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, don't hit that fast forward button. These are all companies that I used as an athletic director, and I'm highly recommending that you use them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Wednesday Wisdom guest, and then go visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to thank K-12 Sports Tech for sponsoring Wednesday Wisdom. K-12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and sport vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting services. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how companies shape their tech to serve schools. To join, all you have to do is go to k12sportstech.com, k12sportstech.com. Proud sponsors of Wednesday Wisdom. We also want to say thanks to all of our other regular sponsors. Hometown Ticketing. Hometown is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com. Talk to one of their pros to get more information. It's digital ticketing that offers more. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided, along with our student athletes and our parents. Join the 8 million users. Go to huddle.com. Make sure your school is a Huddle school. We also want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. It's also a great way to share your school's unique history and your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. Mention the podcast, vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform that you're going to use every single day for things like communication, scheduling, rosters. How about student eligibility and athletic clearance? Who doesn't do that every day? Go to homecampus.com. They're going to do all these things and more. They're going to do them better. They're going to do them faster. The website is homecampus.com. Check them out today. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo. See their score tables and their scoreboards in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com for more information. We want to say thanks to our good friends at the Ohio University Online Masters in Athletic Administration. This is an affordable 20-month, totally online program that focuses exclusively on interscholastic athletic administration. You're also going to take care of 11 NIAAA leadership training courses to go towards your RAA or your CAA. To get started in this online master's program, all you have to do is go to ohio.edu/info/MAA, the Ohio University Online Masters. We want to say thanks to Gipper. You know, your student athletes and a lot of their parents are on social media. And if you're not creating content to promote your student athletes and your teams, you're really missing out on a great opportunity. Go to Gipper.com. Their team will help you create world-class content in seconds, and it's so incredibly easy. Even I can do it. Gipper is used and trusted by over 4,000 high school and college programs across the country, and you should join the team. Go to Gipper.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to Snap Raise. If you've ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraising platform and then ended up with zero, if any, return on investment, stop right here. Go to snapraise.com. We use SnapRaise at our school with tremendous success. Our coaches loved it. Our parents loved it because it works. Go to snapraise.com. check out their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you found it. snapraise.com. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic Surveys is about connections. They're going to connect you with your coaches, your parents, your student athletes. And the information that you get on these surveys is incredibly valuable because it comes from everyone, not just the complainers that you probably already hear from, but everybody. And when you're sitting with a frustrated parent, to have that kind of data to share can really save the day. Same thing if you're talking with your principal or with your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. Check them out today. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We are joined today by a new friend. Listeners of the podcast will remember a while back we had Christina Collins on as a guest. Has an incredible background as a teacher, as a coach, as an athlete herself, and she is the founder and CEO of an organization called NeverStopMoving365. If you haven't listened to that episode, I really encourage you to go back and check it out. But I asked Christina to join our Wednesday Wisdom team, and very grateful that she did. And she's got a whole episode today for us. So, Christina Collins, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and excited to be here today.
Well, we're excited to have you. For our listeners, we're recording this on June 17th, so it's going to be very timely when you're listening to it. Christina's in the middle of a million different things for the summer months, but she was very gracious enough to sit down with us. So I'm going to get out of the way. Christina, what do you have for our listeners on Wednesday Wisdom?
Thank you so much. So today I am excited to educate and inspire you to focus on skills that extend beyond just the time that your athlete is on your roster. So a lot of times we get down in the weeds with sports skills execution and upping the levels of physical fitness. And ultimately, the experience we provide in the fitness and sport and phys ed and coaching world really does so much beyond just the sports skill and even just the physical fitness. You know, we have a real opportunity as coaches and athletic directors who oversee coaches and phys ed teachers. We have such an opportunity to really impact everyone who comes on our roster, their social health and developmental skills, their mental health, and their time management, their body image, their self-esteem, their confidence, their ability to take risks and to be coachable, and all of those virtues that our sport practices and games, whether they're on the field getting playing time or riding the bench like I did my fair share of doing, is an opportunity to craft that toolkit that stays with them way longer than when they turn their jersey into you. So my big ask today, my call to action is to really, when you're in the weeds of certain situations, whether it might be around execution of a certain play or around parent feedback of playing time or different, tricky situations, just to zoom out. My call to action is to zoom out and to really, what is that thumbprint, right? That imprint that we get to have on children as our role in their sport and fitness experience. So yes, we do get to serve as a platform to improve their cardio and prevention of obesity, which is on the rise, and increase their life expectancy. But we also do so much to expand and foster their resilience skills and their coping strategies, and teach them about goal setting, and that you're going to fail on your way to getting those goals, and that's okay. Get comfortable with being disappointed. I think a lot of us listening today would agree that youth today really shut down, shy away from first and foremost, and then shut down from disappointment. I'm disappointed every day, and that's how I know I'm pushing the envelope. And so, right, I'm hitting that failure, and then I'm learning and growing and adapting, just like our body does, right? Maybe at the beginning, an athlete on our roster can only do 2 or 3 push-ups, and then by the end of the season they can do 10 or 12 or 15 or 20. And so showing them that, yes, that physical adaptability, but so much in between their ears, that mindset that stays with them long after. Listen, I'm in my glory days, I really am. And so as I'm here in my glory days, the time on the clock is not sticking with me, right? Those stats, I can't replicate those anymore. But you know what I do have, and I pull from it every day, and a lot of high school and former college athletes would also thank their coaches for this, is the toolkit, right? These leadership and psychological well-being and the responsibility that we learn as being athletes on your rosters. We some do get to play that leadership role as a captain, right? And I did get to do that in high school and college. But again, while I was riding that pine, I also practice being a motivator, and so we do, in our roles as athletic directors, phys ed teachers, sport coaches, we do have such an opportunity to zoom out, Jake, and to really look at long term the impact that our coaching has on the athletes on our roster, but long after they are through with our roster. So my this is really close to home now, because my phys ed teacher and my coach through high school, who is why I became a phys ed teacher, we recently just celebrated his retirement this week. And when I spoke to him in front of everyone, I really wanted to impress upon him was that his legacy is living through all of us, because he inspired us to get into the field. And so now we are, right, with that ripple effect. We took what he gave us and now we turnkey it to the next set of people on our rosters, and so even though he's going to be joining you down in Florida, relaxing and golfing, we still get to impact the character, right? Not just the sports skill, but the character of those athletes that have the opportunity to work with us at practice and sports skills. So coaches, it's not just about the physical skills. And, with it being June of 2024, I would be remiss if I didn't comment on where we are, especially with this chance to really lean in and empower young girls in sports today. And we definitely have Caitlin Clark and, the Caitlin Clark era. I mean, an example I've seen it firsthand, that's definitely going around social media, is young males do come in our gymnasiums and they will shoot a really far three, and they will comment on it being, a logo shot and celebrating women in sports. And to think back how far we've come in just over 50 years, right? When Catherine Switzer, she was the first woman who completed the Boston Marathon in 1967. And they, at that time, just over 50 years ago, they were telling women we couldn't run long distances because our uterus would fall out. I mean, I can't imagine, I don't have daughters, but I can't imagine where we're going to be if we continue to use our sports and our role as coaches and athletic directors to continue to empower young women in sports. Where are we going to be in 50 years? And that's definitely what sets my soul on fire, and what I'm hoping. I treat all of my athletes who come to me like I'm a candle, and I'm trying to light their wicks to live a physically active lifestyle. And so this opportunity on this podcast that I'm so grateful for, I want to be that candle that lights the wicks inside of all of you listeners today, to really inspire and impact your athletes beyond just that sports skill. So the biggest ask I could make would be if you could use your platform, your role in their life as a mentor and a guide and a coach to really also impress upon them the joy of movement and to reinforce that feeling of I feel good when I move my body, you know, and so that they too can and they too can embrace and embody a physically active lifestyle long after. Listen, I played volleyball through high school and college, and that's what got my degrees, but I don't play volleyball today, but I do pull from that toolkit of grit and perseverance and leadership. And I know that I interact today with the world the way that I do from the coaches who impacted me. So while I hope I didn't talk too fast, I would like for coaches and all your listeners to really think about your former coaches. And while you might not still be reliving those glory days, playing those sports skills, the physical skills, but what did stay with you during your time on those rosters? What's still with you today? And then what can you make sure is with your athletes in 5 years or in 10 years? You know, we've all heard that quote about people will remember X amount of percent, what you say, what they see, right? But it's about how you make them feel. So using your coaching words, you know, or the different activities you set up in your practice today, or the way in which you coach your team this afternoon, later on this evening, how can you provide a opportunity for these children, these youth, to be impacted for you, not just in the time that you are with them now, but in that 5-year mark or that 10-year mark? Again, because it is just so exciting to see where we are all going to be in 50 years.
Wow, so many great things to unpack there. We're gonna have to turn this into a whole another interview. Um, I was thinking about the coaches that I had and the impact that they had on me that, helped me have a 40 plus year career as a teacher, as a coach, as an AD, and continuing now in what I'm calling chapter 3. The other thing that really stuck out for me was about that small window where our coaches, say it's a junior high or middle school coach, 3 years with that kid, or a high school coach, you got 4 if you're lucky. Um, if that young student lives to be 80 years old, and hopefully they're going to live to be longer, you're talking about that's 5% of their life that that coach has a chance to impact. And as you said, it's not just the physical benefits of sport that hopefully they're going to take with them on a lifetime, but all of those intrinsic skills, whether it's leadership or teamwork or hard work or dedication, that 4 years, that 5% of their life can impact them for the rest of their life. And it's just bravo way to really highlight it and share that with our listeners. Just great, great stuff. Christina, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out and find more, listeners, you have a tremendous resource here. What's the best way that they can get a hold of Christina Collins?
Sure, by email. Answer all my emails personally. It's Christina at NeverStopMoving365.com. And I spell Christina CH.
Okay. Again, there's the website. Shoot her an email. Go back and listen to our interview from, I'm going to say maybe a couple of months ago. Just tremendously valuable information. Christina, all the best moving forward. I know you got a lot going on with Never Stop Moving, as well as your own teaching and coaching. And we're going to get you back on Wednesday Wisdom here down the road.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. For listeners, we want to say thanks to you and just remind you that we upload all of our Zoom recordings to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this every single week with experts from across the country and around the world, and just about every day sharing best practices for teachers, for coaches, and athletic directors. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast. Wow, what a great session. That's Christina Collins, Never Stop Moving 365. Before we leave, as always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. And K-12 Sports Tech is the named sponsor for all of our Wednesday Wisdom segments. Go to K12sportstech.com to find out all the things that they can do. Join their AD think tank. We also want to say thanks to Gipper, to Home Campus. We want to thank Sideline Interactive and Athletic Surveys. We want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the Ohio University Online Masters Program. I want to thank Huddle. Go to huddle.com, Vital Signs Wall of Fame, and Snap Raise, the best online fundraiser out there. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast.